Now then, everybody, it's Johnny P, the painting coach. Happy New Year to you all, 2022 and all that. And I thought I would do my first video of the year. So, been interesting, and I get it. New Year's resolutions. I've been looking on YouTube and lots of advice out there by thousands of people about how to set goals and become the new you. And I get all that. And again, I think it's a really worthwhile thing to be thinking about. But what I want to talk about really is something what I call wobbles. When we set anything new, especially, I mean, speaking from my own experience, if I set myself, whatever word you want to call it, a goal or an objective or an aim, whatever it is, you're going to have things which are called wobbles, where at sometimes when you're working towards whatever you're working towards, there is going to be days where either you don't feel like it, or there's going to be days where things are going to get in the way and things are going to cause us to move away from that aim. And we might have great intentions, but things don't go right. And this is what I call wobbles, and you're going to get them. We all get them. And like I've always said, slips aren't falls. So when it comes to the stage of if you have set yourself a new goal, either to get fit, learn new things, whatever it is, learn a new skill, whatever it is, there is going to be days where you're going to have wobbles. And a lot of the time is you're just not going to feel like it. And you're going to find that on that day you probably don't do what you said you were going to do, and that's where the mind starts to kick in, and this is where the judge might start to appear, and it might start to construct judgments about ourselves. So watch this in a dialogue, because the mind's there again to protect you, and it's going to place judgments on you. So it might say things like, and this is what it says to me: oh, you're not good enough, you're never going to make it, I knew you were going to fail, why don't you just give up? It's easier to go back to how you were before. That goal or aim's not really important enough to you. And it'll give you all these dialogues, these stories in our head. And that's what can actually make us give up in the end. It's not that we can't do it. It's just that we listen to this dialogue in our head and these judgments that we start to place on ourselves. And this is what I want to talk about. I call them wobbles, when we have a bit of a wobble. So when I start a new aim, I have many wobbles. I don't always do what I say I'm going to do. But what I don't do is beat myself up about it. What I don't do is start to listen to the judge and start to believe everything that it says. Because remember, like I've been saying, they're only words and sometimes images in our head. It's how we then construct them and give them meaning. So again, we get these things where we start off really well, great intention, and then over time, this law of diminishing intent kicks in. And then we get to week 2 and week 3, and then things are slowing down, life's getting in the way, our judges become more louder in our heads. And then within 3 or 4 weeks, we're back to how we are. We're beating ourselves up, saying, I've always failed at this. I'm never going to be able to do it. And we're back to where we started again. And that's just because we've just had lots of different wobbles along the way. And that's going to happen. So that's just a natural and normal thing to accept. So be ready for that. So if you have set yourself a goal, an aim, an objective, whatever it is, well done, brilliant. And if it's for the betterment of you and for the people around you, that's great. That gives you that why. But also be ready and steady yourselves for those wobbles, because they're going to come. They are absolutely going to come. Trust me, this feeling, we're feeling creatures. You're not going to feel like it one day. You're going to look out the window. It's going to be chucking down with rain. It's going to be cold. There's going to be people ringing you up, asking you to do other things. You're just not going to feel like it. And on that day, you might have a wobble. You might give yourself the excuses. You might listen to that judge. And then you basically don't do what you say you're going to do. That is not the point to give in then. The next day is you go again. This go again mentality that I talk about is, okay, I slipped, I go again tomorrow. And then you try it again. Maybe even just making it a little bit smaller as in the action so it doesn't seem so overwhelming. So again, just be thinking about that. You always have a reasoned choice. This is what I say. It never abandons you, our reasoned choice. Sometimes it temporarily goes away. I get it. And we maybe make some choices that maybe aren't as good as they should be. But our reasoned choice is always there. So please remember that. And it takes time. These things take time to achieve. So when we start to apply patience, just believe in the process of what you're doing. So whatever that is, if it's learning a new skill, you know, it's 20 minutes learning a new language or playing a new instrument. Is it getting healthier, eating different foods nowadays, going on those exercises, walking around the block, doing whatever you need to do, starting with these little small things, because they will build and they will better you all the time. But sometimes these processes, they're hard to stick to. And they're not easy. Life gets in the way. The mind starts to construct all these judgment stories and comparison stories, and it starts to rationalize things as well about, okay, you've done well for 2 weeks, well done. You know, you've been out every day, or you've eaten the right food 3 times a week, you know, well done. Give yourself a little bit of a treat, which is fine. But before you know it, it's chipped away, and then you're back to where you started again. And that's not where you want to be, because then your mind starts to give you all those other stories about, okay, well, you can't do this, you haven't got the self-discipline, etc., etc. And before you know it, you're back to where you started again. So wobbles. Watch them, because they're gonna come. We all get them. I get them at least 2 or 3 times a week. I'm telling you now, they're not easy. Sometimes I can override them. I do thank the mind, say thank you for that, but I'll move on. And then other times it gets me, and it gives me the excuses and the reasons why not to do it that day. Remember, go back to your values. If you're doing something, if you've set yourself a new aim, really work out, why is it valuable to you? What is it going to bring? So go into your internal values, the things that you want to live by, the person that you want to be and become, the behaviors that you want to adopt. Goes down to the values that you want to live by. So find out what they are and really understand, okay, I want to do this new aim, this new goal, because it's valuable to me, because this is the person that I want to be. Because that will give you your shining light sometimes. When those wobbles come in, you can just restart again and just say to yourself, okay, let's go again. Let's go again tomorrow. Let's go again next week. And just keep it there. It's a constant. It's a mentality sometimes, this go again mentality. Just keep rising above it, and just know that you're going to get wobbles sometimes as well. Anyway, look, that's my first video of 2022. Keep going at it step by step. You'll always get ahead. Sometimes it is tough, but if you keep moving forward, just taking those little steps, don't being hard on yourself, have some compassion, know that you're going to have these wobbles, know that other people might talk you out of things because it's a change and it's affecting them. You know, so again, watch for that as well, because people can talk to you and, you know, they can give you these little messages, and before you know it, you're back where you started again. Do this for you, whatever you're doing it for, because if you do it for you, it empowers you. You become better, more powerful, more confident, then that's going to then ripple out to the people around you. But first of all, link it to you, find your value, and then I promise, as you move forward and you progress, that will start to influence other people around you in a positive way, especially if the goal and the aim that you've decided to adopt is going to be a positive thing for you. Anyway, look, have an amazing week. I'll speak to you next Monday. Take care for now.